Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 10,000 Voices. Always here to amplify the voices of fabulous entrepreneurial women who are trying to make a difference in the world. Y'all already know me, Sybil Stewart, host of 10,000 Voices, amplifier and advocate for every single woman to do what she knows she is passionate about and what she is called to do. I am so excited to bring to the stage today another phenomenal woman. And then I found out she was in my backyard. She is Charlotte-based, Miss Tracie Randolph, and she is the Reset Coach. Good morning, Tracie.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you. How about yourself?
I am doing so well. Look, like I said, just getting over these baby germs. And I was like, it's time to reset, y'all. These kids do not care about our adult bodies.
They do not.
I love the babies, and I'm like, okay, it's time to reset, but I am so good. The Reset Coach. How long have you been a coach, and why did you pick the word reset? Like, that's really specific.
hmm Yeah, I've been a coach since 2017, so 7 years now. I became the reset coach. I have a little story, my own little backstory. Didn't know that I was going to get into this health coaching space at all. But back in 2012, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was trying to figure out, what's going on here. And as I started to do my own homework after surrendering everything to the Almighty God, right? Because I had to do that first. But after surrendering, um, I started to do my research, I started to do my homework, and I fell in love with everything that I was learning. And I was like, I know there's a lot of, at that time I was in corporate America. I'm like, I know there's a lot of women who are much like myself, who are not taking care of themselves. And I really started to say, okay, how do I help these women not get to a diagnosis of something like I did? And that's how it all began. I coined myself the reset coach because as I started to coach women, who were either corporate women or entrepreneurs, I kept saying every day is an opportunity for you to reset. Don't beat yourself up about what you didn't do yesterday. Reset today. And that's how I became the reset coach.
Oh my goodness. Are we cancer free today, though?
We are cancer free. Yes,
That
absolutely.
that is fabulous. That is
Thank
so
you.
fabulous.
Thank
You
you.
and I, we have a similar journey. I was not diagnosed with breast cancer, but I nearly had a stroke. And I'm like, I do not want another woman to be a me.
Yeah.
There has to be a level of self-care. And we think self-care is getting our hair done, getting our nails done, all that stuff. But what
Mhm.
you're talking about is real self-care, right?
Yeah, about being proactive,
Yeah.
about taking care of yourself, and I know people know really what they should do. It's just that we we just don't do it. We don't implement it until something happens. And instead of being reactive, let's be proactive about how we take care of ourselves.
Yes. Yes. Another thing you said though is surrender. That was my word when I
Mhm.
exited corporate. I said, God, help me to release and surrender. I'm grunting at God. I'm like, okay, God, help me to release and surrender. What was your surrender process like?
But I'll be perfectly honest with you. After the initial shock, because let's just talk about that. I'm human, right? And I trust God wholeheartedly, but I'm human, and I had that the initial emotions and the shock. But after that, after I got the diagnosis, I got a call from a family member, my cousin, and the first thing she told me when I gave her the news, because I just broke down, and she said, "Just breathe." So that was the first thing I did. Then I got home and I got on my knees. Once I got back home, I got on my knees, and then I just said to God, "You know what? I'm taking this to the altar on Sunday, the following Sunday. I'm giving this to you. You just show me what you want me to do with it because I can't do this on my own. This is yours. This is yours to take, and I'm just going to do what you say." So that's really how it all came about. I was like, I'm not powerful enough to handle this on my own. I know God's got this. And I have to, if I can, I would love to tell you a story, which is what reminded me to surrender.
Yes.
Prior to me getting a diagnosis, I was in my home. It was 2012, October 2012, Hurricane Sandy. I was living in New Jersey at the time, And they kept saying how bad the storm was going to be. I was a single mom. I'm sitting in the living room with my son. I got the candles going. We're ready. We got the portable DVD player ready to go. And he fell asleep, and I just started praying. And I was praying because my neighbor's tree was this big, huge tree, but old and visibly sick. And I kept praying, God, please don't let the tree come down, not on her house, not on mine. And my home illuminated. Now, mind you, the power was out, and I only had these little candles sitting on my dining room table, and it was an open floor plan. And the power was out, and my whole house illuminated. And I was like, wow, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you, God. And then it felt like a dome came down over my house. In the middle of it, you could hear the wind rustling, you could hear everything moving outside, and it was like it just right down on my house. And I was like, this is so powerful. Okay, God, I hear you. I went to sleep. I said, okay, it's done. And I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning. There's trees down everywhere. Not one branch from that huge sick tree came down. And when I tell you, when I go back home, that same tree is still standing, right? This is the power of the Almighty God. So, at that time, I was like, oh, I thank you, God. What I didn't know was that was God telling me I got you, not just for that storm. 1 month later, I found out that I had breast cancer. So when I thought about that story, that's when I said, you know what? This is yours. And you already told me that you got me. So because you have me, I'm giving this to you, and I'm just going to do what you tell me to do with it. And this is why I'm here. This is why I'm a coach now. This is why I want to help women live healthy lifestyles, because we're out here. We have so much to do,
Yes.
and we need to be healthy doing it. And we need to trust him, right? Trust him in the
It's,
process.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience. I keep telling people, I said, I don't know if I died, but like I learned how to live after that day. And I said, there was a light, y'all. And they said, ooh, you dramatic. No, there was a light
Thank you.
in my prayer. And I remember, and I said, y'all, it felt like 5, 6 hours had passed. It was probably 30 minutes of time with God. And I remember feeling, what we call the peace that passes understanding. I had never felt that before. I didn't know what that was. And I know we try to smash God and our human understanding and our words. And I said, no, I had no words.
Mhm.
There were no words. And I love words. I got a whole dictionary up here. There were no words in the 40,000 words that I know that could explain the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that what it was like for you? Like, how do you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was so powerful when I told my minister about it, my minister at the time, and all I said to him was, I wish people knew what I knew,
Yes.
because it was that powerful. And like you said, it was really hard to explain, but I knew his presence was right
Right there.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't like a chilly, like I told people I felt warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know how to explain it. They were like, oh, you're running a fever. No, 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 no. I felt it was like every warm emotion you could think of all at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I knew I was going to be okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing that little bit of your story. So, were you in corporate during this time and then transitioning out to be a full-time coach?
Yes, so I was in corporate at the time. I wasn't transitioning fully. I was doing after the diagnosis, I was in corporate full time. Didn't even think about being a coach until that happened.
Yeah.
Then while in corporate, went to get my coaching certification for health and life coaching, and was doing it part-time for a while. And then in 2021, it was like, you know what? No. You got to dive into this. You got to do what you're called to do. You got to separate yourself, because you're still allowing some of the stress of what got you to the diagnosis, you're still allowing that to infiltrate, and that's not where you're supposed to be. You're called to do something different. So, I did do it part-time for a while, and then I just said, you know what, God, okay.
Yeah. I and I think this is where some people say, "Oh, but I want a side hustle." I said, when you are in your passion, there's nothing side about it.
Mhm.
You will be pulled to only want to do that one thing. I said, side hustles are great when you are peddling pen and pencil, but when you are passionate about how you are serving, every other thing is going to automatically take a back seat because you know where you're being driven and led. And it feels different. I was like, I could not side hustle this.
Mhm. Mhm. And to be completely transparent, right? It's a tug of war,
Yes.
right? Because it was something that, being in corporate was something that I had done for so many years. So
Yeah.
it's something that I knew, it was something that I was good at. I didn't hate it, but I certainly didn't love it, right? And I kept saying, I need a break, I need a break, I need a break. The break came in the form that I didn't expect it to come
I
in.
kept saying, I can't go back. I can't go back. I can't go. Y'all watch your words.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it was a tug of war for me, because I was doing well in that space, but I wasn't happy in that space. So, when you have a family too, when you have children and you're thinking about, okay, now how do I really do this? And you've never been a business owner before. It's like, how do I really do this and maintain my household and take care of my child? And so it definitely was a tug of war. But again, I had to remind myself to surrender because once again, right? And I said to a friend of mine, I'm like, how dare I question if I can give cancer to God? Why don't I give everything else? The finances, everything else, right? How dare I? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So, right, you're talking about exiting corporate,
Mhm.
literally giving everything over to God. I told somebody I thought I was a good Christian and then I started a business. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This has tested every single scripture that we are ever taught to say from the Psalm, the 23rd Psalm. I'm like, oh yeah, the Lord is my shepherd. No, really, God, I need you to be my shepherd because I don't know, I don't know where you got me going to having um fullness of dreams. I find that I dream differently now. I don't know if that's you as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Being in a space where you love what you're doing,
yeah.
the imagination, the creativity, it definitely is different. And I feel like while I was in corporate, I felt like I had that,
Mhm.
up until I was about, I'd say 18, right? Because then it was, you got to go to school, you got to get a good job, so I felt like I lost it a bit.
Yeah.
And then once I transitioned and changed my life, it's like it all came flooding back in. Yeah, yeah.
That, yeah, my dreams overwhelmed me. That was my word for probably 6 months.
Mm,
My dreams were just over. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to journal. I got to journal. I got to journal because it was everything that I was supposed to be thinking about for 15 years.
mm,
Like, here you go. You need something
mhm.
else to dream about? Here you go. Um, which brings me to another question. What tools have helped you along this way, right? You're overwhelmed with dreams.
Mhm.
I tell people it's not a new identity, it's a confirmation of who you already were.
Yeah.
And for some of us, we're this far apart. So, what tools have helped you figure this thing out and shape it just so?
Yeah. One is meditation, to be perfectly honest with you. That's something that I started after cancer. And I used to think that that was, something silly or like
Yeah,
woo
yep.
woo or right until I started it. And, to be able to like quiet my mind and focus is really key. But then the other things when you think about, technology, right? The use of technology
Yeah.
right now. And it took me a while to get there, right? Try different things, had to, trial and error with some things, but have a system now that allows me to connect all things together when it comes to running the business, and the coaching side of the business. And then really just saying, you know what, have some peace about, where I am, having peace about where I am, and just taking steps and not really focusing on anxiety of having to get everything done right now. Because I'm a Rome was built in a day person. If I can do it in one day, I'm going to do it in one day. And that's not the way things work. So, I'm the person that jumps off the cliff. So, I learned how to temper myself and have peace in the moments and get done what I need to get done in those moments and just keep going, and understand that I'm never going to stop. So just keep going.
I never thought I would be the jump off the cliff woman,
Mm.
right? I spent my whole career in risk management. I'm like, nope, that looks dangerous. No, you're too close. It is blowing my mind at how frequently I am willing to say, oh, that cliff doesn't look too bad.
Mm.
Oh, that's not a cliff. That's just you know,
Mhm.
it changes your perspective about risk and fear when you realize you should be fearless.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, I'm up here like, ooh, look, another cliff. Let's go jump.
Let's do
What I'm
it.
not doing is jumping out of a perfectly good airplane, though. I'm not doing that.
I would do that.
I'm not doing that. But speaking of risk,
Mhm.
because so many people say, oh, entrepreneurship, that's so risky. What's your take on that?
What is it though, when you think about it? It's risky being in a corporate job, to be honest with you, because they don't have to keep you there. Over the course of, 20 plus years that I worked in corporate, I've seen people, lose their jobs, right? Like it happens. So everything is risky. So if you're not willing to take the risk on yourself, then what will you risk it for? For somebody else, to potentially live unhappy, to not have the freedom or the peace that you want. So that's what I really say to that. And I'm not saying, you have to, just decide today and
Right.
then do it today, right? We're talking about jumping off the cliff, but we're not telling everybody to just jump off a cliff there. You have to, plan for it. It's great to have a plan, to plan for your finances, to plan for the business, to have a plan around how you decide to move forward. But everything is risky,
Everything.
from
Everything is unknown. People are like, I'm afraid of unknown. I'm like, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow at your job either.
Mhm. Exactly.
You don't. I think it's about calculated risk and understanding your temperament
Mm.
for what looks like a risk and educating yourself. So much of what I thought was risky about business was really my lack of education around running a business.
That's good.
Like that's what I found. I'm like, oh, that's not a risk. That's just information.
Mhm.
Okay, got it.
Mhm.
So, when you think about these last several years, what is the worst investment you've made in your business and the best investment? People should.
I know because we were talking about this a little bit. So definitely I've only had one bad coach. I will say that. I've only had one bad coach that, and I'm not going to say that I wish I did not secure that coach because I met some really great people out of having one bad coach. So that's what was supposed to come out of that.
Yeah.
But the other thing is just like you said, like not having the knowledge right away as a business owner and making mistakes in what systems to use, things like that. I wasn't quite ready for that. So I had to really start to gain more knowledge and really focus on, okay, what's going to be best for my business and not necessarily listening to everything that's out there. Right. So that's something that I was not prepared for. So I was just listening to what everybody else was giving me about what worked for them instead of really researching, okay, what is going to be best for me? And I started to jump because I said I jump off the cliff, right? So I started to jump into certain systems and things that I didn't really need. So, if I take a look back, I would have done things a little bit differently. But, you live and you learn and you got to take the lessons as, ways for you to progress in your business. It's just a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I talk a lot about like shortcuts versus cheat codes. And I said, I don't want a cheat code. because then I'm not learning the game. But like, if you show me a shortcut, then that means I still see everything
Mhm.
that might happen, but I get to accelerate.
Yeah.
And I had a coach who showed me cheat codes, and I'm like, cheat codes don't show you how to win the game, they show you how to cheat. I'm
Mhm.
not trying to cheat because I'm a coach, I'm an advocate, I'm an advisor. If my clients run into these things, I have no knowledge
Yeah.
of how to help them out.
Yeah.
Shortcut me? Absolutely. Ooh, is that what got it, right? And I think there's such a wisdom in that, in knowing, like, even with a bad coach, I'm like, I'm so glad I had the bad coach experience
Mhm.
because they're showing me that they're cheat coding the process.
Yeah.
And that's not what I want to be known for.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. And
Uh,
we're here to serve, right? And we need to be good stewards about what we're doing. So if we're not being good stewards for ourselves, how are we going to do that for other people? Right. So I love that you said that because that's so key. It's like when it comes to health too, like I don't allow my clients to shortcut to cheat. Let me put it that way.
yeah.
You can shortcut it because you're learning things that you're getting from somebody else who helps you get there faster. That's fine. But I don't allow them to cheat either because you know what? The next day you're gonna have the same problems that you had the day before. And we're not doing that. It's about progression. It's about lifestyle, right? It's about being able to move forward in a way that's going to be, and I'm saying healthy, but I mean healthy in your business, healthy in your life, healthy overall, right? It's about being able to move forward and progress in a way that's allowing you to be healthy in your life so that you can get to whatever the destination is, whatever the goal is, whatever the dream is, so that you can get there. So I love that you said that because yeah, we don't want to cheat out here. We want to, yeah,
Cheat.
yeah.
Um, one question I like to ask all my ladies is, what is one thing you believe women entrepreneurs go through that no one might understand?
Ooh, that's good. You know what? I really think it's just being a woman, right? And no, and I'm saying that, right? Because, there's so many things that we deal with that
Yeah.
men do not have to. When I think about, and I'm going to take this to the physical side of things, right? When I think about us as women and, our hormonal changes and us having kids and the way we manage time and, like men they don't deal with the same things that we deal with, right? And I think we are powerhouses. We are bad at what we do, right? Bad in a good way, everybody.
That in a
But
good way.
but we, but just understanding how life changes for us,
Yeah.
right? Physically, and how we stand up even when we're dealing with so many things that we just have to deal with as women.
Yes.
So, I love to applaud women for that because we fight through all of that. And men they don't know what it feels like to be a woman and have to endure certain things that we endure. And we still get up and we still keep going. So, kudos to all the women out there who are doing it in their business and in their life because we have so many things that we do, but we still show up as business owners as well.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, it's called being a woman.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to shift gears a little bit to learn more about your business and how you serve. So you're helping women reset their health.
Yes.
Are there specific components of their health you touch, or is it holistic? What does that look like to work with
So
you?
it is holistic. It is holistic because my approach is in order for you to be able to live a healthy lifestyle, you have to incorporate everything. So it is a whole look at mind, body, and spirit for that matter. Um, But I have a program that focuses on, okay, we're going to work on your mindset
Mhm.
around how you feel about health and implementing healthy habits. There's, of course, meal planning and nutrition education that goes along with that, along with fitness routines, because I like to bring everything together. Now, I'm a spiritual person and I don't leave that out for by no means, right? So when we go through the mindset exercises, we also go through the spiritual because I just if that's not where a person is, then I'm not the right coach for them, because that's what I embody. So I bring it all together because I want people to understand that in order for you to live a healthy life, everything that touches your life affects your health.
Yes.
You have to bring it all in. So when I coach people too, my focus is, how do you manage a healthy lifestyle and incorporate it into your daily schedule? Because a lot of business owners, women, and I'm speaking to the women, trade time for their health,
Yeah.
because that's the one thing that women say, I will put to the side if I don't have enough time,
Yep.
because they don't think about themselves as much as they think about everybody else. That's probably a downfall to being a woman, right? We're nurturing beings.
On first.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So I help women figure out how to manage their time better and incorporate those wellness activities into their daily schedule so that they can live the healthy lifestyle for themselves in order to make the impact for everybody else that they need to.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, I don't think we're out of time. I just think we're overstimulated
Mhm.
and distracted.
Yeah.
Like some of my clients that I work with, one of the first questions I ask, so how many hours a day do you spend on social media?
Mhm.
And what we don't realize is those 5-minute increments, they add up.
Yeah.
And what you thought was a 10-minute, back and forth really took up 3 hours of your day
Mhm.
that could have been intentionally spent on prioritizing wellness or sleep or family or finances or whatever it is that you are supposed to be bringing to the forefront for you to be your healthiest best self.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Mm.
And then you also said you do meal planning. Um, are you forcing people on diets?
No, no, no. That's not my way to meal plan. No. So, you're not gonna hear me talk about paleo, keto,
Okay.
plant, vegan, right? No, it has to work for that person. That's the meal planning that I do, because I don't force people into a certain way of eating. Now, I will give them, okay, these are healthier options versus the non-healthy options. And we do talk about, certain things like processed versus non-processed, all that, those items. But I'm not forcing people into a certain type of diet, because a diet that may work for me may not work for somebody else. Our bodies are very different, right? And we all operate in different manners. So, no, that's not how I do it. It has to work for the person or it doesn't work. And then, they may do well for week one, and then week two, it's an unhealthy lifestyle again. So that's not how I operate, no. And it has to be tailored for that specific individual.
I love it. Custom eating plans.
Yeah.
Because right, there's always a fad diet coming out.
Hmm.
Do this diet and you will lose weight. Do this thing, you will get. So I'm glad it's very customized to the person. Um, is this like metabolic testing, or is this like a Q&A that you go through, or you look at what
Yeah.
they're eating and hear their goals, and then what does that look like?
So it definitely is a Q&A, right? Because I'm not a medical professional, so
Gotcha.
I don't go through that portion of it. But what I do tell people is, you should know your numbers. And when I say numbers, meaning you need to get your blood work done, and
Yes.
you need to know all of your numbers, your glucose levels, your cholesterol, what vitamins and minerals are lacking in your blood. Like, those are things that are important, because then I can really help you tailor a meal plan that's going to allow you to incorporate the things that you may be deficient in, or to release some of the things that you have too much of. So I do help people in that regard, but it's not metabolic, it's a Q&A. And I always tell people too, like, know who you are and how you operate,
Yes.
right? Because oftentimes there's people that can do things what I call cold turkey, right? You can release something very quickly, and that's the way you operate. Or or you may be a person who needs to progressively start to release things or incorporate things. So I tell people, know how you operate and know your numbers, and then we can really get down and make a plan that's specific for you.
Or know that your cold turkey is a result of a shock, right? So my doctor was like, you got to cut the caffeine. And I said, oh, for real? And it was like, no, really, you need to let go the 10 cups of coffee. And the next day I woke up and had 1 cup.
Mm.
Like, I am that intentional. If the doctor said no more, and then I said, how's what? So I'm also a negotiator. I'm like, So when you say cut the caffeine, and
What
then he's like,
exactly
no,
did you mean
really?
by
He was like, okay, Sybil, 1 cup-ish, and then no caffeine after 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I mean, I was drinking caffeine at 12:59. I was Alaska. Um, but again, it goes back to knowing that if you are going to function with intention, cold turkey is possible.
Yeah,
It's totally. I remember that day. I
absolutely.
was like, okay, I'm done. And yeah, your body feels different. Your pH adjusts,
Yeah.
and then you get used to not doing it. And then
Mhm,
I switched to tea
mhm,
and tea with cream,
mhm.
even less coffee. I mean, even
And
less
listen,
caffeine.
this works wonders.
Yeah,
Right? Like when you feel like you need something, like if you drink water, because oftentimes we're
hydrated.
dehydrated people usually, right? And people
Yep.
just don't realize that we're dehydrated. We don't, especially in America, I'm gonna say that because that's where we live. We don't get enough water in. And if we just drank water, there would be a lot of things that we'd be able to release that we think we crave that we don't necessarily need.
Yeah. Anytime I say, oh, I'm hungry, I go drink a glass of water.
Mhm,
And then I'm like, oh, no, I'm not hungry. And it goes back to our childhood, right? It's like, go sit down, go eat something, go watch TV, go eat something, go
mhm,
outside, go eat something. And we're
mhm.
conditioned to snack
Yeah,
through our boredom or snack through our feelings or snack
yeah,
through all these things. And it's about awakening those senses to say, no, I'm not hungry.
yeah.
I'm sad. I'm tired. I'm not well.
Mhm,
I'm happy. I'm whatever those emotions are. And there are other things that can and should happen with those emotions that do not include going back into the pantry.
mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. And it is a reframe, right?
Yeah.
It's a mindset reframe. And then what you'll find is once you start to reframe your mind and you start to change the habits, the things that you craved, you no longer will crave. Like you just release it. And then after a while, those things are not even good to you anymore if you try to go back to them.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tried to eat chicken. I was like, "Ooh, chicken is nasty. I did not know. This chicken does not taste good at all. Okay, got it. No, no more chicken."
Right, right. And the things start to smell different, you see them differently, like your senses start to become aware of, you know what? This is not even something that my body needs.
Let me on it.
Yeah.
I tried to, because again, I'm a tester. I
Mhm.
tried to eat, I don't know, a piece of candy or something, and I'm like, "Ooh, this is horrible." I threw it away because my body was like, I didn't want it in the first place, probably separate enough from it, and it tasted so sweet,
Mhm.
like a sugar overload.
Mhm.
So, okay, no more candy. Got it. Great.
Yeah.
I'll eat some fruit.
Yeah. 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 And listen, we have these intricate systems.
Yeah.
You know, what God has done with these bodies, it amazes me like how the system works, right? So our bodies have the ability to heal, to recover, you know what I mean? Like everything that we do, especially when we start to incorporate healthy habits, is all for the body to be able to heal and restore itself. You know, and it's all things working together. It's not just one thing. It's not just drinking the water. It's not just the sleep. It's all things coming together, which
Yeah.
is another reason why I take the holistic approach because we have the ability to allow this intricate machine to heal if we just give it what it needs. And you'll find like it's so refreshing when you think about it. It's like I'm like so amazed by what God has done with this wonderful system that He's given us. And if you change those habits, you'll find that your body's going to operate so much better. One other point to make, right? Because I'm 50, I'll be 53 on Friday. And yes, ma'am. And I don't have pain. I don't have pain. I don't have joint pain. I don't have any type of pain. I don't no pain other than having my normal monthly.
I don't have any pain. Okay. You told me I don't have any because we think pain's a part of aging.
Right.
Think achy is a part of growing up.
Right.
You're saying I'm 53 and I have no pain.
I'm 53 and I have no pain. And it's something that people think is normal that certain ailments, right, or illnesses come with age. That is not the truth. And I just want to debunk that myth right now. And I'm claiming that I'm going to live to 100, right? And I'm going to be a healthy, vibrant person up until the time that the Lord decides to take me out of here. And that is just changing my lifestyle, right? It's just a result of changing my lifestyle.
Are you vegan, vegetarian? What do you practice?
I'm not vegan. I'm not vegetarian either. I'm mostly plant-based though. Like I do my own little thing. So
Yeah.
I do plant-based most of the time, and then I allow myself a treat when I decide to. But I eat mostly plant-based on a regular basis, and then I'll give myself a little treat and have, some shrimp or,
Yeah.
a piece of salmon but I'm not, I don't like to get into categories, right? I just like to live healthy, right? I pay attention to ingredients, I pay attention to where things come from, so that's what I do more than saying, I'm a certain lifestyle. Because
Yeah.
to me, and the reason why I do that too, and I'm gonna say this, right? Food is compromised,
Yeah.
particularly here in this country. So I want people to pay attention to what they're actually purchasing, what they're getting, versus saying I'm a vegan, because there's a lot of vegan food that's really unhealthy,
Unhealthy. I
right?
saw there's so much sugar and sodium in vegan food with them trying to make it taste
Hmm.
like something it's not. I'm like, or make it taste like the best version of itself. Like
Yeah.
it shouldn't taste like chicken or steak because
Right,
it's a plant.
right.
Let the plant take the way the plant's supposed to taste.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
it's a very unhealthy marketing scheme
yeah,
that's really expensive because vegan food is can be really costly.
yeah, yeah. And really, if you want to be a vegan, because there's nothing wrong with that, go out and buy the whole foods
Yes.
and make
Make
it taste the way you want it to taste. Because you can take certain herbs, right?
I love
And you
herbs.
you can flavor your food the way that you want with certain herbs and spices and
Yes.
allow that to take on, whatever it is that you like, right? Instead of buying something that's packaged that they're saying is vegan, that they're claiming is healthy for you, and it's not, right? And like you said, the sugar and the sodium levels are absolutely ridiculous. So,
Ridiculous. They're reinforcing the addiction to the
yeah,
thing you're trying to get away from. Is
exactly.
it, ooh, I don't drink any soda. No, but you just ate that. I can't believe it's not burger.
Right, right.
I guarantee you it's the same. You might as well pop a can of pop. Just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Uh, and it's also the difference between nutritious versus healthy
Mm-hmm,
that we combine the two, and I'm like, it's two different things.
mm-hmm,
It's two
mm-hmm.
different things.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How can my viewers learn more about how to partner with you?
Oh, I love that. So, social media is probably the best, right? Because people like to go to social media. So, I'm on Instagram as Tracie Randolph, the Reset Coach. I'm on Facebook as Tracie Randolph for the Reset Coach. I'm on TikTok. I'm on LinkedIn, right? You can find me there. It's all Tracie Randolph, the Reset Coach. And then also coming very soon, I'm changing my website. So the resetglobalgroup.com will be coming out. You can look for me there. You can look for me there as well. But I'm all over social media, so please reach out because I would love to connect with everybody. I have a link there on social media as well, on all of them, where a person can book a call with me so that, we can go through a healthy assessment and talk about, what's needed for them so that they can start to live a healthy lifestyle.
That is fabulous. That is amazing work. Um, One final question before we go. This has been, thank you so much.
Sure.
Uh, what do you see on the vision on the horizon for the Reset Coach?
Oh, I love that you said that. So I've been doing a lot more speaking engagements. I just actually did one recently, which was so much fun. It was a women's leadership summit. I'm looking to get more into speaking engagements because I love it. I love surrounding myself with beautiful women who are out here being boss ladies, either in the corporate space or in their businesses, who want to just live healthy. And I'm not just talking about physical health, I'm talking about from all aspects of life. So
Yes.
I'm looking to speak more, to just spread the news of health in my own unique way, which is what I did this past Friday. So I'm just looking to do more of that and engage with more beautiful women.
Oh, that is you already know I believe every woman should be on a stage. So that is fabulous. Y'all do not forget to look up the amazing Tracie Randolph. Find her on all the social medias. Thank you for watching another episode of 10,000 Voices. Be sure to check out our latest episodes every Thursday at noon. Also, do not forget to check out all of our content on being a woman in business, aka womanpreneurs. Till next time, see you on the other side. Don't forget to hit that like or subscribe.